Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Today I am again with you with a new topic, with a new chapter, that is chapter 3rd of class 11th, and it is kinematics. So what is kinematics? As you can see yourself, it is a combination of two words, kine plus maticus. Kine means motion and maticus means mathematics. So the kinematics is the branch of physics which deals with motion, making use of mathematics and without taking into consideration the cause of motion. That is, what has caused the motion, we do not take it into consideration. We do not care for that. As all of you know that the cause of motion is the force. Without force, we cannot cause motion. We cannot bring anybody into motion according to Newton's first law of motion. As you might have read about Newton's first law of motion in class 9th, everybody in this universe continues to remain in the state of rest or in the state of motion unless or until change its state is changed by some external agent, and that external agent is known as force. So force is the cause of motion. Force is the agent which can bring anybody from rest to motion. But in this chapter kinematics, we do not take force into consideration. We do not consider force. We do not think about the cause of motion. Like mathematics, as you know, in mathematics, in linear equations or in quadratic equations, there are variables. So the variables used in kinematics are distance, displacement, speed, velocity, acceleration, and jerk. And now we will discuss them one by one in the later part of this chapter. Now, first, what is motion? A body is said to be in motion if it changes its position with respect to time, with respect to its surroundings. And these surroundings are taken as reference points. For example, a car moving on the road, it continuously changes its position. It continuously changes its position with time. Time goes on changing. Its position also goes on changing, and its surrounding also goes on changing. So, car is said to be in motion. Similarly, an insect crawling on the wall, it continuously changes its position with time, and it continuously changes its position with its surroundings. So an insect crawling on the wall is also in motion. Similarly, a bird flying in air continuously changes its position with respect to time, continuously changes its position with respect to its surroundings. So a bird flying in air is also in motion. The motion can be one-dimensional, two-dimensional, or three-dimensional, depending upon the coordinates which it with which it changes. Let us first discuss what is one-dimensional motion. The position of an object moving in space can be described with the help of three position coordinates x, y, and z. As I have discussed with you in the earlier class in school, x, y, and z coordinates. For example, you can take the corner of a room where you have all these coordinates x, y, and z. The length of the room can be described as x coordinate, the breadth of the room can be described as y coordinate, and the height of the room can be described as z coordinate. The motion of the object is said to be one-dimensional if only one out of the three coordinates x, y, and z changes with respect to time. The other two remaining constant. The other two coordinates do not change. For example, if only x coordinate changes, y and z coordinates do not change, then the body is said to be one-dimensional. Similarly, if y coordinate changes, x and z coordinates does not change, then the body is the motion is said to be one-dimensional. Similarly, if z coordinate changes, x and y coordinates do not change, then the body is said to be in one-dimensional motion. For example, a car moving on the road. Only x coordinate changes, y and z coordinates do not change. They remain constant. Similarly, a body falling from a certain height on the ground. Here we see that x and y coordinates do not change, only z coordinate changes, so the body is said to be in one-dimensional motion. Now, what is two-dimensional motion? As the name suggests itself, that two-dimensional motion of the object is said to be two-dimensional if two out of the three coordinates x, y, and z change with respect to time. For example, an insect crawling on the floor. Two dimensions crawling on the floor, x and y coordinates change, z coordinate do not change when an insect is crawling on the floor of the room. So it is a two-dimensional motion. Similarly, the earth revolving around the sun. Again, we see that x and y coordinates change, the z coordinate does not change, so it is a two-dimensional motion. The motion of the earth around the sun, or similarly the motion of other planets around the sun, is two-dimensional motion. Now, what is three-dimensional motion? The motion of the object is said to be three-dimensional if all the three coordinates x, y, and z change with respect to time. For example, an aeroplane flying in space, it sometimes goes towards left, then sometimes goes towards right, sometimes moves upwards, and sometimes moves downwards. So all the three coordinates x, y, and z change. So the motion of the flying aeroplane is three-dimensional. Similarly, the motion of the molecules of a gas, they are in random motion, they are in zigzag motion, they sometimes go towards left, sometimes they go towards right, sometimes they move upwards, sometimes they move downwards. So all the coordinates x, y, and z change. So the motion of the molecules of a gas is three-dimensional. Now let us discuss what is distance. As you have already learned about distance in your class 9th, the length of the actual path traversed by the body, traversed by the object during motion is called distance. If you see in your book, sometimes you will see a body, sometimes you will see it written as object, and sometimes as a particle. So you should not be worried about what object, body, or particle means. They are same things. So in some definitions, object has been used, in some way body has been used, and some way particle has been used. The actual length of the length of the actual path traveled or traversed by the object during motion is called distance. Distance is denoted by s. Distance is denoted by s. Its SI unit is meter. It is a scalar, and for distance the dimension formula is, as the name says, distance is a length, so it has 0 dimensions in mass, 1 dimension in length, and 0 dimension in time. So the dimension formula of distance will become m raised power 0, l raised power 1, and t raised power 0. Now let us discuss what is displacement. Again, you have learned about this displacement in your class 9th. The shortest distance between the initial and the final position of the object in motion is called displacement. The shortest distance. For example, if a body is in a circular motion and it starts from point A on the circumference of the circle and covers the whole distance, the circumference of the circle, in a particular time, and reaches again point A, its distance will be equal to the circumference of the circle, and that is 2 pi r. Its distance will be equal to 2 pi r, but its displacement will be 0. As I have shown you, if a body starts from point A, then moves along the circumference of the circle and again reaches point A, its distance will be equal to 2 pi r, but its displacement will be 0. Similarly, if a body moves from point A to point B, its distance will be equal to half of the circumference of the circle, that is 2 pi r by 2, that is pi r, but its displacement will be equal to the diameter of the circle, that is AB. So you have already learned about this displacement and distance in your earlier classes. Displacement is a vector and its SI unit is again meters, since it is also a distance, its SI unit is meter, and its dimensional formula is same as that of the distance, that is m raised power 0, l raised power 1 and t raised power 0. Now the distance and displacement are same, they are equal under certain conditions, under two conditions. Number one, the body must move along a straight path. For example, as you can see in this circle, a body moves along the diameter of the circle, not along the circumference of the circle. If it moves along the diameter AB of the circle from point A to point B, then distance covered by the body will be equal to AB and the displacement again will be equal to AB because it is moving along a straight path. So this is the first condition. If the first condition is fulfilled, that is if the body moves along a straight path, then distance and displacement can be equal. Now there is another condition, that is the body must not change its direction. Again, see from this figure, if a body moves from A to B and then from B to A and set up again at A, again if a body moves from A to B and then from B to A and set up at point A, its distance will be equal to 2AB, twice diameter, because it moves from A to B then from B to A, but its displacement will be 0. What happened here? The body moved along the straight path. The body moved along the straight path. The first condition is fulfilled, but it changed its direction. When it reached point B, it changed its direction and then moved from B to A. So the second condition is not fulfilled. That is why here distance and displacement are not equal. These two conditions, both the conditions must be fulfilled. The body must move along the straight path. It must not change its direction. If these two conditions are fulfilled, then distance and displacement are equal. Now let us discuss the third point, that is motion in a straight line. When the body is moving in a straight line, only one out of the three coordinates x, y and z changes. Suppose if the body is moving along the length of the room, then only one coordinate, that is x, changes, y and z do not change. Similarly, if the body is moving along the breadth of the room, then only y changes, x and z do not change. Or if the body is moving along the height of the room, then z coordinate changes, x and y do not change. So the motion, in all the cases, the body is moving along a straight line. In a straight line, only one coordinate changes. So the motion in a straight line is one dimension because only one coordinate changes. Now what is speed? Again, you have learned about this speed in your earlier classes. The rate of change of distance with respect to time is called speed. The rate of change of distance with respect to time is called speed. That is, speed is equal to distance by time. Speed is equal to distance by time. Speed is denoted by small v. Speed is denoted by small v. Its SI unit is, as you can calculate it from the above formula, that speed is equal to distance by time. The SI unit of distance is meter and the SI unit of time is second. So the SI unit of speed will become meter per second. The SI unit of speed will become meter per second. Speed is a scalar because both distance and time are scalars. In the later part of this chapter, we will discuss these scalars and vectors. If a scalar is divided by a scalar or multiplied by a scalar, we will always get a scalar. So distance is a scalar, we divide it by another scalar, that is time, we get a scalar, that is speed. So speed is a scalar, and its dimensional formula, you can calculate it, the dimensional formula of distance and time, we will get It is dimensional formula as m raised to power 0, l raised to power 1 and t raised to power minus 1. Now what is velocity? Now as already you have already learned about it in your class 9th, the rate of change of displacement. Speed is rate of change of distance, whereas velocity is the rate of change of displacement with respect to time. So velocity is equal to distance by velocity is equal to displacement by time. Speed is equal to distance by time, and velocity is equal to displacement by time. Velocity is denoted by a bold V, bold letter V, small v, or V with an arrowhead. Small v with an arrowhead or a bold V. All the vectors are written with bold letters because this velocity is a vector, so it is written with a bold letter V or a small letter V with an arrow. Its SI unit is again meter per second, and that is written as m by s. It is a vector, and its dimension formula is same as that of speed, that is m raised to power 0, l raised to power 1 and t raised to power minus 1. Now again, the speed and velocity are same under two conditions. As distance and displacement are same under two conditions, speed and velocity are same under two conditions. The body must move along a straight path, and the body must not change its direction. As in the case of the circle, the if the body moves along the diameter of a circle, and if the diameter of the circle is say 5 meters, if the diameter of the circle AB is 5 meters, say 5 meters, and if it covers this distance 5 meters in say 5 seconds, if it covers this distance 5 meters in 5 seconds, what will be the speed of the body? It will be distance by time. Distance is 5 meter and time is 5 seconds. So the speed of the body will be 1 meter per second. 5 meter divided by 5 seconds, it will be 1 meter per second. Now what will be the velocity of the body from A to B? Again, it will be displacement. The displacement is again 5 meter and the time taken is 5 seconds. So it will be again 5 meter per 5 seconds. That is equal to 1 meter per second. So when the body is moving along a straight path, velocity and speed are equal. Now if the body moves from A to B and then from B to A, it covers a distance of 10 meters in 10 seconds. So its velocity will be 1 meter per second, but its displacement becomes 0. So it will be 0 divided by 10 seconds and its velocity will be 0. So in that case, the body changes its direction and velocity and speed are not equal. Velocity is 0 and speed is 1 meter per second. Now why do we say the velocity of a body and why do we say the speed of a body? For example, you will never say the speed of light. We always say the velocity of light. Why? Because light travels along a straight path. Light always travels along a straight path. This is given by rectilinear propagation of light. By rectilinear propagation of light, it tells us that light always travels along a straight path. So the light from the sun to the earth travels along a straight path. So we always say, since it is moving along a straight path, we say that it is velocity. It is the velocity of the light. Now we always say the speed of the bus, because when the bus moves along the road is at many places it is curved. So the bus has to change its direction. The car has to change its direction at many places. So we say the speed of the bus. We say the speed of the car. We never say the velocity of the car. Thank you. See you tomorrow with a next topic.